everyone, I am Mecha42, your favorite YouTube harpy, and I am taking a quick break to talk about a Star Trek Discovery article. I am in the middle of writing and scripting out and getting some screenshots for this episode of Star Trek Discovery. It's kind of a nightmare because it is all over the place. If you guys do want my initial live reaction, if you want to see that, if you can't wait for a review, it is still available. I will link that in this video description. It is a 2-hour live stream. It is a painful show to sit there and watch. I show a few, not clips, I show a few little, like, screenshots here and there of that, so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about, and you kind of get my live riffing and my live interaction. So if you really want to hear me say F you at Mikey Spock for a few times during this, it's kind of hilarious. It's kind of entertaining, if I do say so myself. So let's get into this article. This comes from Digital Spy. Star Trek Discovery Season 2 premiere Brother feels like a different show. Whose series is this again? Well, it's not a series for Star Trek fans. It's made for people who don't like Star Trek. Alex Kurtzman has confirmed that. He's stated in interviews, this is for people who can't tell the difference between Voyager and DS9 and don't know which one to choose, you know, because you can only watch one, clearly, if you're a Star Trek fan. Which is why I say, yes, it's for people who don't like Star Trek, because it's right there from his mouth, you know? Let's get into this article. No, this article contains spoilers for Star Trek Discovery, Season 2, Episode 1, Brother. Not there's anything to spoil that the show hasn't already done to spoil Star Trek. Star Trek Discovery Season 2 premiere is built on the anticipation of Spock's arrival. He's there in the beginning in a flashback that details a young Michael Burnham coming to live with Sarek and Amanda and meeting a young Spock for the first time. And he's there at the end too, at least in voice, but not yet in person. Even as Captain Pike boards the USS Discovery on Starfleet's orders, bringing with him 2 members of his crew, there's a build-up of tension as we wait for a nervous Burnham to face her foster brother and their rocky history, only to be left disappointed when Pike arrives with the decidedly not Spock science officer, Lieutenant Connolly. See, and I do want to give Digital Spy props for using the right terminology, because we see so many of these people, especially even Alex Kurtzman says that Spock and Michael Burnham are half siblings. They're not. She is not related to him in any way, shape, or form. She is the foster child. She is the adopted child of Sarek and Amanda, who are Spock's natural parents. That means she's nothing to any of these people. She's not a half. She's nothing to any of these people. More related stuff. No. How Discovery fits the original series. It doesn't. It references it. It name drops it. It doesn't. I'll answer that question for you in your related story. It's like Pike is speaking on behalf of the writers when he warns Burnham that sometimes it's worth keeping expectations low so as not to be disappointed. Spock will be in the season, they're telling us, but not right now, so don't expect too much right away. Of course, as an audience, we know Spock isn't likely to beam onto the Discovery straight off the bat. This is only the first episode after all, and we're still getting used to having Pike around for starters. Yet we're still left to feel like Burnham is only there to bridge this gap between Discovery's war-torn first season and the return of the Star Trek icon. It's like they keep having to shoehorn this character in that nobody likes or wants. Oh, here's the trailer. I'm going to save you the trailer. We've already seen the trailer a million times. You can probably just Google Mecha42 trailer reaction. Maybe YouTube will be nice and recommend it. I've done a few reactions to the Star Trek Discovery trailers. In many ways, Brother goes to great lengths to acknowledge that Discovery is no longer the dark, gritty show which swears now that premiered last season. Oh yeah, they do have swearing. They still had an S word in there, so they still had some swearing. And it was still just cringy as hell. It was so bad. The show is just cringe. It is cringe to the series. It's certainly lighter and funnier because the Orville did it better. And there's definitely a greater sense of the camaraderie among the crew of Discovery too. And it helps that as viewers, we now actually know all of their names. Thank you for asking, Captain Pike. That is one thing that I will give this episode. They did this roll call where they actually called out all of the bridge crew because we didn't know who the crap any of these people were. I had to kind of Google and search for what was her name, Kayla Detmer, the girl with the little thing over her head or over her eye that came over from the Shih Tzu with Michael Burnham, the Shenzhou, whatever. Who cares what it's called? We don't see this ship ever. We never see these ships. We don't see the characters, we don't see the ships. We see a whole bunch of science fiction, flashy special effects and visual effects. It's not Star Trek, though. I mean, it's really not Star Trek. And yeah, that is one thing that they did. We were also getting the lighter and funnier thing, but Orville still does it better. You know, they have blatant rip-off, scene by scene shots that they're just stealing from the Orville now. Angry Mr. Flibble, shout out to Angry Mr. Flibble. He did a video where he compared the two, and he edited some things from the Orville, some things from Discovery. I will put that video in the description below as well. Go check that out. I think I retweeted it as well. It was really kind of hilarious. I even sent that to the Discovery Writers Room so they would know, we're on to you. We know what you're doing. We know you're stealing stuff. Not only did you steal things from Anas Abdeen with the tardigrade last season, but now you're blatantly ripping off the Orville. That's okay, because the Orville kind of did a big to Discovery last night as well by basically redoing and making better the Tyler plot, the sleeper agent spy sort of thing, and they actually did it and made it make sense and made it good and interesting. So, you know, that's because the Orville has good writers. In fact, Pike even steps on board and states clearly that he is not Captain Lorca, which is about all the indication we need that Discovery is going in a new direction. It's not necessarily a bad move. In the presence of a captain we know we can trust, Discovery feels much more self-assured. There are comedy beats that the writers know how to work with. No, they don't. There are comedy beats that the writers... So it's like watching somebody who has never spoken before try and speak. You know, and that's kind of what these comedic writers are trying to do. They're trying to tell a joke, but they've never actually been able to write anything worthwhile. It's all come out of just garbled nonsense. The plot feels tighter, more structured, and with more of a focus on the mission, with no hidden motive to get distracted by. No, that's not true. We had hidden motive aplenty. It's like they didn't kind of say what this episode was about. That is one criticism I did state last night watching this live. We have this series, this show, this episode. What is the main plot of this show? Well, now that I've seen it, they have to go and rescue a crashed ship as part of their mission, but they also have to reintroduce all these characters, introduce new characters with Pike and Spock. We have to kind of shoehorn this new stuff into the old stuff, gloss over this Klingon war and why Michael Burnham is like so pouty. I'm Michael Burnham, I'm pouty. So we have to gloss over all that. It's like they wrote the thing saying, oh, here, well, let's open the scene where we start off with these characters and we have them do this. Oh, and then we need to bring in Pike, so let's do that. And they don't have it like all structured out. They don't have okay, well, the plot of the episode is we're going to rescue Tig Notaro from this ship. Don't get me started on Tig Notaro. Once we get there, I will rant about her. Also, Reptilian Reflection, subscribe. Thank you for being a brand new subscriber. Oh, this is what I get for not turning on, not turning off the pop-ups. It's okay though. Thank you for subscribing. No hidden motive to get distracted by, my ass. You know that there are hidden motives to get distracted by. Where's my mouse cursor? The show does an admirable job of introducing the believable beat of tension, too, as the open and honest Pike briefly clashes with Burnham over his belief that the crew isn't willing to offer up any suggestions for how to help stranded Starfleet ships, something Burnham quickly disproves. Yeah, she got a little too snotty with him. I really, really wish he would have sent her off the bridge and had a little talking to with her. He kind of snaps at her, but of course, no, she has to be the bestest ever and still tell him off. Fuck you, Michael Burnham. Fuck you, Michael Burnham. I hate that character so much. It's a horrible character. It's just the person that you don't want to work with. It's that punchable person that you just don't want to work with in your day job. Even so, in the premiere at least, Pike is very much the driving force behind Season 2's momentum. He comes on board, takes control, he commands the mission, and even though Michael Burnham and Sonequa Martin Green, too, while we're on the subject, spends most of the episode being brilliant as usual, no. Pike has all the narrative power here, and Burnham and Saru and the rest of Discovery crew are left to fall into place behind him. Well, that's what a captain is supposed to be. Remember, Michael Burnham is not a captain. Pike also comes armed with a knowledge of the series' season-long mystery. They're investigating several red signals that are appearing across the universe, and brings Burnham her more personal quandary, too, forcing her to confront her fractured relationship with Spock and piece together the questions of Spock's disappearance, the signals, his visions, and the story of the Red Angel, too. Is it me? Am I the Red Angel? That'd be kind of cool. That'd be cool. Write me into the show. Why not? Make me the bad guy. I would love it. There are plenty of great things about this episode, but between Pike, the specter of Spock, and the history between him and Michael emerging as clear focus, this I tried to block from my memory. This is the ritualistic sort of traumatic thing that you tend to block out because it's so horrific. They have implied, and now I'm getting like really depressed and choked up about this. They have implied that Michael Burnham and Spock had a little bit of an inappropriate relationship. They have a history. They have not flat out said that they were banging, but they have definitely implied that there was something going on. There was something to the relationship. There's also kind of a hilarious moment that I really want to focus on more. I want to focus on more because of the ridiculousness of it, because it turns my stomach far less. There's a moment where Sarek says that he wanted Spock to learn empathy from Michael Burnham. It's kind of the funniest thing I've ever heard. Spock learning empathy from Michael Burnham, the most unsympathetic character I've ever seen. She has no emotion. She is a wooden plank. She is smug, arrogant, a bitch. She's a cunt. She's a cunt. That character is horrible. And Sarek wants Spock to learn. So they're ruining Sarek too, making him a complete moron. You might as well be Mo from the Three Stooges at this point. He's so, but Mo was at least smart. Yeah, the Star Trek Discovery is in danger of neglecting its entire first season in a bid to link the series more directly with the wider Star Trek universe, shifting its focus on the newer arrivals to the detriment of the established characters. Well, the established characters are shit anyway. Like, the more you can do to erase Discovery and say, no, we need to get back to actual Star Trek, the better. Hire writers who aren't these writers. This was the worst thing. This is probably the worst episode I've ever seen of Discovery. Thankfully, the USS Enterprise itself is largely ignored beyond Burnham's brief visit at the end of the episode to gain clues over Spock's disappearance, which included plenty of Easter eggs for original series fans. Oh, member berries. You know, hey, remember this reference, remember that reference. Yeah, we saw. We were not amused. But the arrival of the Enterprise in any way, well, it's not the Enterprise, it's the 25% different Enterprise, also brings with it a lot of history, the memory of iconic characters, and the danger that Star Trek's newest show will be overshadowed by those that came before it. Well, it will. I mean, this show is not getting nearly the attention. When I get more views on my channel bashing it than, like, the actors get for giving interviews. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that people just don't care. People aren't interested in it. It's not a good series. Star Trek Discovery may be looking to have a little fun and ruffle a few feathers in Season 2 and be a bit lighter, funnier, and more typically Trek too. But that doesn't mean it should ignore everything that happened to these characters last season to do so. I think it should, though. I really think it should. I really think it should ignore it because, like, last season was terrible. I mean, look at this. Star Trek criticism led to Klingon redesign. Good. This is a really short article. This also came out today. Some things are going to fall through the cracks. Star Trek fan criticism led to the redesign of Klingons in Discovery Season 2. Good. Star Trek Discovery boss Alex, I start every sentence with the word and, Kurtzman has confirmed that some of the negative fan reaction to the design of the Klingons led to changes made for Season 2. Well, because you changed them too much. You don't know what the fuck you're doing, and you changed them too much. And you made them so unlikable and ugly and hard. They can't even emote through that makeup. You put so much makeup on these poor actors' faces. The Klingons' appearance in Discovery offered or different from their appearance in previous Star Trek series. Among other aspects, the humanoid alien species were bald and had different facial structure in the first season as a result of using latex masks. The Klingons have hair again this season, growing it back out now that there is peace. Absolutely, Kurtzman told Vulture when asked if they were influenced by criticism. When you're doing Trek and trying to keep track of the points that are meaningful and significant to people, some things are going to fall through the cracks. I suppose we have just explained it earlier. See, what they did, yeah, what we're planning on is I want to make sure that each show is different and a unique proposition, Kurtzman previously said. Our job is to make sure every time you get a new Star Trek show, it feels like a very different prospect from any other Star Trek show that exists. That is the problem. That is why this is a terrible show. You can't have it feel entirely different. You can have it feel a little different, like, ooh, this is a new take on Star Trek. But no, you still have to stay true to Star Trek. You can't just decide that since Kahless dipped a lock of his hair to make the first bat'leth, that Klingons all of a sudden shave their heads when they go to war, because that's not even what the myth says. You guys aren't even, you're taking that he took a lock of his hair. And then you said, and then you interpreted that in your crazy little fucked up short bus Trek writing way and style and decided, oh, all Klingons shave their heads. No, one lock of hair does not equal shaved head. Kahless always had hair. The problem is you gave this poor actor so much makeup, he looks like modeling chocolate. He looks like just lumps of modeling chocolate all over his face. He looks terrible. He can't act through it. He's got way too much of a mask on. You're covering their eyes with these forehead things. You can't even see their eyes and their face. And then this makeup design is from Glenn Hetrick, who on Face Off always constantly bitches at people for covering the actors too much so they can't emote and they can't act through it and they can't see through it. Fucking pot kettle, right? What do you guys think? This is a little twofer for articles here. Are we just kind of sick of this Discovery stuff? I mean, I'm just kind of hate watching at this point, just to pick apart and just to kind of further see. I'm kind of like how an atheist will study the Bible. I just am picking apart everything I can find about this show because they have already done so much to destroy it. I mean, they're not going to get better. Clearly, they're doubling down on their stupid. Did you guys watch this episode? Did you just watch my live reaction? Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I will be working really hard this weekend on the review. Hopefully it'll be up today. I hope it'll be up today because I am moving this weekend into the new apartment. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next video or live stream. Expect to see us live with Midnight's Edge After Dark talking about this sometime. Some sort of our Trek log will be kind of incorporated, and I will be appearing on them now from, hopefully if we're doing them live, I can appear on them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next live stream or video. And also, thank you for subscribing, Alan Thompson. Bye!